Welcome back to Bunters Yard. So this is the build video for our single bridge. This is the 009 version. That's what I'm going to build in a bit. Just allows for a single track to go underneath, and once it's built, it's going to be something like this. So it's double-sided, you can see. Single track over the top, or a comeback bridge over the top, and then underneath the curved brickwork on the roof. And then you've got these bits. They have a name which escapes me. They're like buttresses, but they're not called buttresses on a bridge, I know. We leave these unattached because you can fit them how you want then, whether you want it like sort of traditionally where you have an embankment there, or you may want to fit them flat, or in that. Depends on what suits your layout. But there are 4 of these, 2 for each side, like that. So let's just get that out of the way. Difference with our bridge, this is an O gauge one, is that there are 4 different sort of finishes. So this particular one is slate. This is just one of our quick demos that we put together just to test it out. Might not be able to see it on camera, but this is 3D etched, so it's actually got a real texture, and it's taken from a real picture of a slate wall. So it's not just a drawing as some would be. These actually are a texture, so much easier to paint, and lots of opportunity for getting in the grouts and different colours and so on. This one is the old brick version. That's what we're going to do today. And there's also just traditional red brick. These are just etched in. They're not textured as such, although the lines between the courses are textured. So you can get grout. We've used tile grout on these to put in the mortar courses, that sort of thing. So this is the pack. I say this is 009 version that we're going to put together today. Let's just open the pack and have a look inside. So let's go through all the different parts. So if we have a little rummage through what we've got, let's get the main pieces together. Let's just get those out of the way for a second. Right. So each of the sides of the bridge are made of 3 pieces. So this one here, the shorter one with the texture on, is the front. The taller one with the texture just at the top is the back. That goes on in that direction. And then this one is a plain one, and this goes up the back. So it's like a sandwich. Looks like that. So it looks plain on one side with a textured top. On the other side, it's textured with a plain top. Hopefully that'll become apparent in a minute exactly why we do that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to glue that into place. We're going to use super glue. If it's your first time doing one of these, I probably wouldn't suggest you use super glue. It's a bit, as we know, it will go off pretty quick, and it's a bit of a one-way street with these. I would probably tend to use PVA or rocket glue, because it gives you a little bit of time to make some adjustments. So they go on. The edges are then, so that edge and that edge is flush. You'll get a gap at the top here. We've got something going in there in a moment. And then if you look at it from behind, it leaves a little rebate down there. And that's where we're going to fit in the wall that's going to join these two together. And if we have a little rummage for our pieces, we're going to have this bit of the top wall, so that one will go up there, leaving a gap. We've got something to go in there in a moment, so let's just fit that one on next. So that needs to go flush with the sides and flush with the top as well. And all being well, that gap will take the next part without any adjustment. On the back of this piece again, so it's plain on both sides. It's the same all the way around, so there's no sort of front and back of it. They're all exactly the same. If it's flush with the sides and with the bottom, and that just continues that sort of rebate there. And we're going to build 2 of those. We'll build this second one off camera. You don't want to see me do the same again. So once that's done, there's 2 more pieces for this to finish off. So this one is like a course of bricks that goes across the top, just like a bit of trim. And then also this one, which is the keystones that forms the top of the arch. And the reason we've left them separate, we could have easily left that as part of that, all come off in one bit, is that you might want to paint them separately. So if you're doing this one, which is old brick, you might want to do this in sort of an engineering brick, for instance, and that may be red brick, and this bit may be, you know, a different color brick again, or a stone, or whatever you want to do. So you can paint them separately and then pop them in. I'll just show them fitted. So that's the top part. And then that's one side. So we're going to do 2 sides exactly the same, the other side exactly the same, and then we'll come back to putting it all together. So we've got our two sides. Next part is to put the wall that goes underneath in the tunnel. So it's these. So there's 2 of these are the same. They are different to the top, and I'll talk about the top in a second. These are single-sided. They're just etched on one side. Obviously the brick surface goes on the inside there, and we're just going to pop some glue on there. Pop that into place. Good idea to maybe put something there to make sure it's the correct angle. Let it go straight, let that dry, and we'll do the same on the other side. Remembering to put the brick texture on the inside. I've done it back to front before, many times unfortunately, but yeah, the brick obviously goes on the inside. This bit you're not going to see at all, so that's why it's left plain. We'll let them dry. We'll come back to that in a sec. Right, so these are set. Now normally what I would do is I'd be fitting it together so I can fit the roof, the arch roof. But just to make it easy for you to see what we're doing, I'm going to leave that part off. Now there's 2 different tops. Some of the older kits have got this laser cut version in. So it's got the brick texture on the top, and on the back there's lots of lines, which makes it a little bit flexible. And you've got to be careful because it will, or it can, it can snap, but you can see you can flex it and you can form it into that shape that goes in there. What we're doing in the new kits is that we have a piece of etched foam. This is just 2mm foam. It's got the texture on the surface of brick. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but obviously when it goes in there, it's much easier to curve to the shape of the arch that we're going to work on. Because of the way the camera's set up and the particular glasses I'm wearing, I can't actually see that well beyond the camera. So I'm going to fit this in off camera and then come back and show you how it looks once it's in place. And I'll do it without fitting the other side on. So bear with me a second and I'll be back with this part fitted. Right, so we've fitted the top of the arch in place. You can see it there, so it's curved and sort of conforms to the shape. When we get the other side on, it will curve sort of correctly on that back edge as well. Just holds it in place. Now before you fit these, you probably want to paint them, or possibly would want to paint them in whatever brick colour you're using underneath. So if you've got red brick on the outside, these might be sort of the grey blue engineering type bricks. Whatever is sort of correct for the sort of era and the area that you're constructing the bridge for, I guess. So once that's done, I say that's already set. I'd normally do these, put the arch in as the last piece, but I'm just going to fit the other side on, and then we'll come back to fit in the roadway. So the next piece we need to fit is, as I say, this is the road surface. Now this is made from a laser card, so it's quite flexible, and it's going to conform to this the shape of the humpback bridge. And it's just going to sit on this little ledge. There's one on either side. It sits on there, and we'll just pop it in. Now, I need it quite a squeeze to fit in, and I tend to fit them in place and then glue them from underneath once I've got the curve correct. And you can see there, just putting it in place. There we go. And on the other side too. Square that up, and then we can glue it from underneath with that super glue. We just need a couple of dabs of whatever glue you're using. You maybe want to use an activator as well, just to make it go off a little bit quicker. And then we'll do the same with the other side. And that's the road done. Final parts we've got to do are these support walls, buttresses, whatever they are truly called. So there's 8 pieces in there, and they come in pairs. So you've got a back and a front. You probably, depends on how you do it, if you're going to put an embankment in between, you probably don't need the backs. But just for the thickness, I'd keep the backs in pairs. And we're just going to glue them together, match them up squarely, and then just set it aside to dry while we do the others. And then we just literally have the trim to do, and we're all complete. So the capping stones for these whatever we decide to call them, support walls or buttresses, these are the 4 of the shorter ones. Now the way I've drawn this, just to make it easier to fit, is that you'll see at one end there is 2 shorter stones, and at the other end there's a sort of long and a short one. So at the 2 short ones, at the second, after the second one, just give it a little bend there, and if you go to the other end, at the second one in, we're going to bend it up the other way, ever so slightly. So it's kind of that sort of a similar shape to that now, and then that will glue on there. And hopefully that bend will fall into place. We're going to super glue that on, or whatever you choose to use, card glue or PVA. Do that for all 4. They all work out exactly the same. They're all completely identical. And then just leaves us to put the coping stones across the top of these. You may want to assemble it first. You may want to paint it first before you assemble it. Entirely up to you. But that's just going to glue there. Let's just do one of those. And you'll notice it's ever so slightly wider than the brickwork and ever so slightly longer. It's a little overhang on either end. And that's pretty much us done. We'll fit those in. We'll pop them in so they're ready to go. You will angle them however you want to fit your particular scenery you're building. So just while I fit in this last piece, just to let you know, these are on the website in 009, which is this one, and also in O gauge. There's 4 different textures, like I mentioned before. So this is the this is old brick. So this is the textured brick. The new brick is not textured as such. It's got the etched lines, so you can still add in the mortar joins and so on. And then there's slate, which is the new one, and then old stone, which is actually the original one that we made. When you go on the website, you'll find there are options. You can actually have it all built for you if you don't want to go through this stage. You want me to put it together and paint it and weather it just a little bit. It'll be similar to this, with some smoke staining from underneath and a little bit of dirt around the bottom, a little bit of grime. And then I haven't got one to show you, but the road surface would normally be just like a black tarmac with just a little bit of sort of dirt and leaf debris to the edges, just to sort of finish the edge off. But they're quite fun to paint, so do have a go, and whatever scheme sort of suits you, whether you want to assemble it first and then paint it all in one go, or as I do, paint the component parts and then put it together and then just finish the trim. Entirely up to you. So that's it for this particular build. We'll see you again very soon here at Bunters Yard. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and yeah, we'll see you next time at Bunters Yard.